Welcome to another video, and today we have our AEW Dynasty results video. Very good card. How did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, literally from beginning to end, very impressed with literally everybody in every match on the card. Even the ones that, maybe going into it you might not have thought very high of, they still, did their job, and they were still good. But yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm kind of going to skim over the 0 hour show just because not much that happened, but in the end, Trent Beretta beats Matt Sydal. After the match, Chuck Taylor comes in and kind of gets him off after beating down Matt Sydal, and Trent Beretta tells him that you have until Dynamite to make a decision of whose side are you on, either Orange Cassidy's side or his side. So we'll probably get ready to get that on Dynamite. Then transition from that, we had Orange Cassidy and Shibata beating Shane Taylor Promotions. And a pretty decent match was what it was. And then the last match of the pre-show, we had Bullet Club Gold come out on top and win all the trios champions, defeating the Acclaimed.
Yeah, pretty good pre-show altogether. Glad Jay White, got the win back on Billy Gunn after, last week or the week before, whatever it was. But yeah, happy for Jay White.
Yeah, moving on into our regular show, the main card. We start off the night with Kazuchika Okada taking on Pac for the Continental Champion, and Kazuchika Okada does get the win here. How'd you feel about this match?
Yeah, really good match. I wasn't very familiar with Pac too much before, going into this match. Going into AEW's kind of been injured the entire time I've been watching, essentially, and then even his time in WWE, I wasn't watching then either.
Yeah.
So this is kind of my first full, good match from him that I've gotten to see, and yeah, definitely impressed me. And yeah, I think they did the right thing.
Yeah, this was a phenomenal opening match. Just they gave him enough time. They went for 22 minutes basically, and yeah, they just went out there, had a great match. It was more like a New Japan style match where it's more hard hitting. We had a nice DDT from Okada from the barrier to the to the mat on the ground. But yeah, really good match. Really enjoyed it. Okada comes out and retains as champion. Next up, we had the trios match of House of Black take on Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe, which House of Black do get the win. How'd you feel?
Pretty much I'm gonna say the same thing throughout the entire card, but every match really good, including this one. This is probably one of my favorite trios matches that I've seen, at least recently. But yeah, it told a good story with Aleister Black and Adam Copeland. I'll get used to that one day. But yeah, it told a good story between them two on what Aleister Black has. I'm calling him Aleister. Oh my God, I'm so lost. Malachi Black, the story they have together, going forward, obviously, he's going to be the next contender for the title, it seems. And, yeah, I'm really excited to see that match. And this kind of told the story of that. And Brody King, it's always good to see, him have matches. And I love when he gets the crowd hype with his howls and shit. And, it's just amazing. And then, yeah, also... Jay Briscoe going off the chair over the turnbuckle and a front flip landing on Brody King as well. Crazy spot. But yeah, really good match.
Yeah, this match was really good. Good way to continue the the good match streak, which AEW usually tends to do. They usually have a lot of strong matches to start, a lot of strong matches to end it. This was no different tonight. But yeah, I really like the spot where Mark Briscoe has the ladder on the apron, does the jump. But yeah, really good match. Looks like you said, we will begin the Malachi versus Adam Copeland match for the TNT. Don't know when that happened. Maybe they wait until Double or Nothing for that to happen, where you have one match announced for Double or Nothing, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, really good match. I love House of Black trios matches on pay-per-view. They always deliver. I still remember the match they had with the Elite, with Bucks and Omega a few months back, I think, or well, actually last Revolution, I think. But yeah, really good match. On to the next one, from House of Black to the other member of House of Black. Julia Hart loses her TBS champion to Willow Nightingale in a House Rules match. How do we feel about this?
Yeah, just a really quick match. Kind of surprising. I pretty much missed the whole match, to be honest with you. I saw the very beginning of it. I let my dogs out. I came back in, and I went into your room for a moment, and I saw the pin happen. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, didn't really see the match. I can't really speak too much on it, but I just know it was quick.
Yeah, this match, I really wasn't paying too much attention. There was some basketball games going on, so I was kind of trying to keep up with both things, unfortunately. But from what I did see, it was a pretty solid match. Now, with Willow winning the TBS champion, like I said, we do have our first Double or Nothing match announced, which is Willow taking on Mercedes Moné for the TBS champion. And I feel like this is kind of an unfortunate situation for one of these people. Either Willow, on her first pay-per-view defense, will lose the belt, or Mercedes Moné will lose her first match, which, you know, I don't know where you go from that. Obviously, I'm not the booker, so kind of have to wait and see, but what do you think is going to happen there?
Yeah, I'm not even sure, because also it seems like they like somewhat tease like a Chris Statlander turn on her as well. So if that does happen, then, you know, that could kind of change a lot of different things. And obviously, Mercedes, when they came out tonight, and, you know, they did nothing to me. I don't really know what they did exactly. They just kind of spoke off the mic, kind of. But yeah, they kind of teased. I think it was a tease, I guess, of Chris Statlander. You know, they did like the turnaround shot where she kind of appeared behind her, and it looked like it was gonna happen, and then they hugged after, and then it happened again where it looked like something was gonna happen, and nothing happened. So yeah, I kind of feel like the Chris Statlander turn is kind of depends on everything, because that could change a lot.
Yeah, maybe at Double or Nothing, instead of having either woman losing, maybe you have Chris Statlander maybe interfere in the match, and then you set up like a triple threat match for All In, maybe, perhaps, and that's your TBS champion match, which I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, really good match for what I saw. But moving on, we had Roderick Strong retain his belt against Kyle O'Reilly in a very, very good match. Really enjoyed this one. How'd you feel?
Yeah, this was one of my favorite matches of the night, besides, you know, one that we'll get into later, the obvious one probably. But yeah, this is probably one of my more favorite matches. It seemed like they, once again, they kind of teased like a turn a little bit with Wardlow when he came out. Like he was potentially going to do something, nothing happened. And then after he won, you know, Adam Cole and, you know, Undisputed Era comes out, and, you know, they basically just celebrated with him. It seemed like they were going to do the turn once again. They had the shot where they kind of put the camera on him, and then Adam Cole was behind him, and it looked like something was about to happen, but nothing happened. So yeah, I guess, you know, it's going to be a lot of kind of storytelling on the next Dynamite to see what's going to happen exactly with basically everybody.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because one thing that as well is after Roderick Strong does get the win, Adam Cole comes out and finally stands up and is walking again.
Yeah.
I know Dirt Sheets had said that him flying back and forth on between Dynamites was like pushing back his like real heel time and being healthy, but I feel like that was just wrong at this point because he seemed perfectly fine. Obviously, I don't know if this means he's going to be back next week or anything like that, but it does seem like we're closer to the return than what we think. And then as like you said, Adam Cole walks in, he eyes Kyle O'Reilly while he's laying down, and is almost like, not sad, but like kind of like torn between like how he feels about it. And then like you said, as Wardlow is celebrating with him, he kind of just eyes Wardlow and is like, you can obviously sense that something's going to happen with the turn. That's kind of what we already thought was going to happen. I feel like we thought maybe Wardlow would win the world champion, and then once Adam Cole was ready, they would have the split and they turn on him on like some evolution type stuff with Batista or something like that.
Also kind of expected like potentially an MJF kind of show up in some sort of way, not wrestle of course, but, you know, talk a promo or, you know, something.
Yeah.
But didn't get that either. So that's going to be, you know, a highly anticipated return for AEW for sure.
Yeah, and then next up we had the FTW Championship on the line where Hook loses his belt to Chris Jericho in a match. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, kind of what I expected was going to happen pretty much happened. I said it in the predictions video that I was hoping Hook would kind of win, but I expected Chris Jericho to do it, and he did. You know, kind of what you expect, unfortunately. Hook's moveset is limited to, you know, a lot of suplexes.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho, he's obviously past his prime at this point. We had chance of go home Jericho.
Yeah. Retire.
Yeah.
Just one thing I always admire about Tony Khan is he likes to listen to the crowd. That's one thing I will always give him his credit on, is that whatever the crowd wants, they usually get. We have won't spoil anything later, but we got what we wanted with that. There's a lot of other instances where you can make the same case, but this is one where I'm very disappointed in Tony Khan, and just having Jericho win this match is very just... If you listen to those crowd chants, there's no reason why he should be holding that belt, and just the fact that it wasn't even like an amazing match either, which also doesn't add to anything. But
yeah, it wasn't bad for sure. I will give them credit. Definitely wasn't a bad match. There were some surprises in there, like when you hit the code breaker right before Hook was gonna go for the red rum. But yeah, there were some surprises. It wasn't as bad as I feel like some people might bring it out to be. But just wish Hook would have got that win. You are trying to build him up. There's no reason for Jericho to really get the win. Yeah.
Yeah, moving on, we had a match that brought the life back into everything. We had Toni Storm retain her belt against Thunder Rosa. And a very good match. What do you think?
Yeah, we had a distraction from Mariah May at some point during the match. And then Deonna Purrazzo kind of comes in and takes care of her, throws Luther into the stairs, which I thought was cool. I never saw him kind of take a bump like that. Yeah, her and Mariah May kind of fight off into the distance. So you don't really see her anymore. And yeah, just a really good match. I kind of was thinking, I don't know, like I don't know, like during the match, I feel like it was a little slow sometimes, but it was still a really good match overall.
Yeah, this was easily my favorite Toni Storm defense. This was easily her best. I think Thunder Rosa is going on to prove herself as probably the best woman on the roster. She consistently has very solid matches, and solid and above matches, I should say. But yeah, really enjoy this match. Toni Storm retains here. Don't know who I still believe that Mariah May is the one to take it off of her. At least that's just how I see everything being built right now. We didn't get no Jamie Hayter. We didn't get Britt Baker. We didn't get any other returns or debuts or surprises, anything like that after this match. So, yeah, interesting win here. I think a lot of people did think Thunder Rosa was the one to take it off of her. But, or I'm not say unfortunately, but surprisingly not. But yeah, really good match. But on to the match of the night. The match that everybody will talk about probably for the rest of this year. Will Osprey versus Bryan Danielson. And this is, I know we're only in April, but this is my match of the year already. You can lock it in for me. This is it.
Yeah, this is for sure my favorite AEW match I've ever seen to this point. I've only seen, the last basically 2 years of AEW, so I don't know if that, brings a lot of context to it or not. But yeah, incredible match as we all thought it would be. A lot of close spots, a lot of spots that made you kind of cringe, and you were like, oh my god, I know his neck is going to be stiff in the morning for sure. I don't even know how to explain this match. I would just recommend anyone seeing this video to watch it for yourself in any way you can, because it'll definitely be worth it. Yeah, like you said, match of the year for sure. My favorite AEW match of all time. Yeah, I don't even know how to else explain it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say about this match that makes it even better is sometimes, and I'm part of this group that with a lot of Will Osprey matches, there's a lot of no selling that goes on in between the matches. And with this match, there was basically none of it. There was only like one time where I would say there was like a no sell. Even that, it still felt it felt believable, and it felt like it would happen in a Will Osprey match. But yeah, really good match. Like you said, a lot of spots where you can just tell that it didn't feel good at all. Will Osprey getting suplex off the top turnbuckle, landing basically right on his neck. Danielson taking a few hidden blades. There's one point where Osprey goes for an Aussie cutter, and then Danielson hits the psycho knee on him midair, which is nasty. But
yeah, and I just love that, like, kind of the story that the match told between the two people, because it was like everything Bryan Danielson did, Will Osprey just had a better answer for, and it's like everything he did, Will Osprey did it to him better, and it just kind of told a story of, like, the teacher and the student, but the student is better than the teacher now. But yeah, just an incredible match.
Yeah, this is a match, like you said, just if you have 30 minutes to take out time out of your day, watch this match. It's not going to disappoint you. It's going to be the match of the year, and if you miss out on this one, that's on you. But next up, we had the Young Bucks take on FTR in a ladder match for the vacant AEW World Tag Team Champions, which the Young Bucks come out on top. How'd you feel about this match?
Yeah, the match was good all around. We had the rumored Jack Perry return come in. FTR has the belts pretty much won, and then he comes in. We don't notice him. He comes in a mask. He throws him off the ladder. Security comes and grabs him, takes off the mask to reveal Jack Perry. A lot of people predicted that. But what I didn't predict was, the security to just kind of throw him out. I predicted him to do more after throwing him off the ladder, like celebrate with him after at least or something. But we didn't see that. They kind of kick him out of the arena. So I'm curious if they're going to do like a storyline where it's like, oh, he's banned from the arena, but he keeps coming in type of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he also threw up, as he's walking out, he threw up the Elite symbol, which I don't know if we're going to get an Elite reunion or like Elite just mashup, because there's people who are right now suspended in AEW who's a part of the Elite, like Hangman. Omega's obviously injured and out. There's people like Kota Ibushi, who y'all know is not really Elite, but he's an ally of the Elite, so we haven't seen him in a while, so he could be in there. But yeah, really good match. Really enjoyed this. A lot of crazy spots. Dax had a lot of blood on him. Got pretty bloody very early on in the match. But yeah, really enjoy this one. Probably one of my favorite tag team matches of the year so far. I don't know if it's my favorite so far, but I have to rewatch a few other ones.
Crazy looking pop driver onto the ladder as well. I believe it was Dax was doing one to Nicholas, and as he's going to do it, the ladder kind of slips out and bends, and then he falls back, and like his back takes basically the entire bump.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure how Nicholas thing. They said he like landed on his knee or something, like his head hit his knee on the way down. That was a crazy spot. Then the 450 splash from Matt Jackson onto Dax. Or Cash, I mean. But yeah, crazy match. Surprise, after a match like Bryan Danielson and Will Osprey, it's hard to, keep the momentum there and like keep the crowd alive, but they definitely did a good job of keeping that crowd alive.
Yeah, we didn't get no Motor City Machine Guns, and I think that's kind of obvious once we kind of seen Jack Perry. I don't think they would do like a double return in one match. We have seen that before. Maybe we see them at Dynamite, and maybe that's the first challenges for them. Maybe we see them at Double or Nothing. I think would be a great match to have for Motor City Machine Guns. But yeah, really good match. Really enjoyed this one. One of my favorite tag team matches of the year. But in the main event, we had Swerve Strickland going against Samoa Joo, trying to win or finally win the AEW World Champion, which he succeeds. Finally, he gets the job done. Swerve Strickland is the new AEW champion and the first black AEW champion. So, really good match. Really enjoyed this one. What'd you think?
Yeah, Swerve finishes his story.
Mm-hmm.
Just an amazing match. There was a lot of surprises in it. So as far as like Swerve being able to get out of the coquina clutch and everything, and it's like nobody's really been able to do it the way he did it, because he kind of overpowered Joe, where he just kind of broke his hands apart.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, no one's ever really broken out of it that way and overpowered him. But yeah, really good match. Basically same thing, vice versa as well. He kicked out a Swerve stomp the first time. Swerve basically threw everything at him to finally get the win, and he does get it. Feel good moment at the end. Still not sure where he lies on like face or heel side, but whenever you listen to that crowd reaction, it's like he's a face, like he has to be.
Yeah, after the reaction he gets as he wins, I think that kind of confirms he's a face now, which I'm really excited for. This is something we haven't seen from Strickland, I don't think he's been a face since being with Keith Lee and winning the tag team belts, but they kind of turned heel pretty quick. But yeah, really happy Swerve won. Very good match. Who's the next person we think he'll be feuding with, and who will potentially be taking the belt off of him?
I'm gonna assume Adam Page comes back at some point, and they kind of rekindle what they had going at some point, because their story really isn't finished. There's still more you could tell there. But But besides that, you know, I would assume, well, Osprey is going to be the next contender.
Yeah, he has to be number 1 right now.
Yeah, after all the, you know, he's undefeated so far, obviously, so I don't know where he lies on the rankings, but I'm sure he's somewhere on there. But yeah, that'll be a match I'm very excited for, potentially Double or Nothing. And yeah, we'll find out, you know, what Swerve has in store for us this Wednesday, I guess.
Yeah, really good night of wrestling. They had 8 matches on the main card, and all of them besides pretty much 1 delivered, and I'm very happy with that. I mean, you can't ask for much more. You can ask for a perfect card, but how often do you have that? Not very often. But yeah, really, really, really good card. AEW, again, delivers on pay-per-view when they need to. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe, and we will catch you guys in the next video.